I'm Karen Blevins, and in this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to search for and review data using the Edit Existing Occurrence Records option in the Data Editor control panel. So you're going to access the control panel from My Profile and the Occurrence Management tab, and clicking on your collection, the Amphibians and Reptiles of Arizona collection. So there's the Edit Existing Occurrences Records. And you'll find searching for data is relatively straightforward. It takes you to when you click on the Edit Existing Occurrence Records option, it takes you to the record search form. And since no criteria have been entered into the form, all records in the database are displayed in tabular format below the search form. So as you can see, all records are listed, and of course you would have to tab through each list. You can also see there are a variety of ways to filter data. In this demo, I'm going to enter a value for catalog number, but be aware you can use whatever field you want from the Select Field Name drop-down list. And this can also be used in combination with the standard filters, such as collector, number, date, in the record search form. So again, I'm just going to enter catalog number, and you can just start typing the name of the field and it'll go to that field. And I'm going to enter now obviously I have to know the number. And I'm going to select the Display Editor option, and that result set will return as a series of pages if you have more than one in your results set. So you could have, as little as one, obviously, but if you say search on a scientific name where you're going to have multiple results, records that match that criteria, then you could have, thousands even listed that you would have to scroll through. So again, learning how to filter your criteria is kind of an important part of using this. Now, if I edit anything here and let's say that I have multiple records, the changes will only impact the current record selected, no other record in the list. Now, there are other ways you can approach editing data, but I will go over editing options in a separate video. So there are two, if you scroll down in the editor window, there are two map options. So there's the locate locality, and this takes the locality information from the locality field and attempts to map it. Now, again, I'm going to go over this in a separate video, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time learning how to use the editing options in this tool. And then the other option is just Google Maps. It's going to bring up the location in Google Maps. Again, I will go over this in a separate video. As you can see at the top, you have a total of 6 tabs available to you. Your landing tab is the occurrence data, and then you have determination history, images, linked resources, traits, and admin. All of these are available to view, but again, any changes made to any of these are specific to the current record, basically. That's not probably wouldn't matter in images or linked resources or traits, but the termination history, this is where you would update the scientific name. And that, you probably would want that to be a global change. In other words, every occurrence of that scientific name in the database, you would want to update. So if you make it here, it's only for that current record. Now, there is a way to use another tool specific to the determination history, and I go over that in a separate video, and that video is called Using the Add Batch Determinations Nomenclatural Adjustments tool. The Images tab, this is where you can upload any new images. for that record only. Linked resources. This is where any associated occurrences or specimen duplicates linked to this record are listed under the Link Resources tab. This is also where any new genetic resources may be added. At the Traits tab, for the current record, changes can be made, and of course you can view the existing data or update the existing data. Sources include machine learning, physical specimen, verbatim text mining, and viewing the image. The admin, this is where any internal edit information, including the editor's name, date of the edit, the name of the field or fields that were updated, plus the old value, if it wasn't null, and the new value are listed here. So you can see I've made quite a few edits to this test data. If the observation needs to be deleted, you will need to click on Evaluate Record for Deletion. And the Symbiota system goes through, looks at any of these related resources, and evaluates whether or not this resource can be deleted. Once it gives you the okay, basically, then that delete occurrence button is available to you. If there are links, then that may have to go through the admin before, especially with checklist. So since there are no checklists associated with this collection, you shouldn't have any issues, but the image links may prevent you from deleting the specimen, and it may have to go through me. And at that point, what you would do is just send me an email with the catalog number, and then I can go through and do whatever I need to do in terms of image links. All right, so we've looked at we've done a search based on the displaying it in the editor. Now we're going to use the display table option, which is what this looks like, basically. All right, and again, the search is the same. Just going to do it on the same number. Fortunately, it comes up. And I hit display table. So again, only one record, which we were expecting. But notice it's coming up in tabular format, but I can still access the editor just by clicking on this little expansion tool. And again, it's going to open it in a new window. That is the default. So there it is, and I'm back to the editing window. Okay, so what's nice about the tabular view is that if you had 300 records, it would go through here. You know, it would list all 300 records, and you could certainly go through one at a time or just pick out some that you just sort of want to review. If you choose this option, also notice right now there's no way you can sort on any of the fields. However, if you choose that same name, so notice this option, display as a dynamic table. If you click that, it's still going to come up in the display table format because that's the option I'm going to choose, obviously. But notice I have a blue arrow beside the Symbiota ID field, and that's where you can sort. So the default would be sorting on the Symbiota ID field, but that may not be what you want to do. So you can change the default. The up arrow means that it's going to be in ascending order, so from low to higher values. And then you can change that just by clicking on it to descending values from higher to lower values. And you can do this for make any field the default, the sort field, basically. So that would be important for a larger return set. Obviously, for one table or one return record, it's not very helpful. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and demo on scientific name. And I want it to be, and we'll see what comes up. Let's just do Claris and display. And I should be getting, yeah, so I'm getting over 394 records. And again, there's my sort tool because I selected the display as a dynamic record, but I can sort on any institution, collection code. They're probably not going to be very meaningful. Catalog number, maybe. And again, you can sort up or down. Family, you can sort up or down. So again, this sort tool is going to be helpful when you have multiple records returned. And let's just go back to that. I don't know if they returned. Yeah, let's go back to that and do scientific name, and let's just do display editor. And that way you can see I have well over 394, so I make changes to this and save it. And again, that will be reviewed in a separate video. So I'm continuing on with the as I review the data. So as you get more comfortable with the edit tools, you will develop more complex filtering approaches that will help you narrow down your searches even further. Finally, I want to cover the options, basically your operators for your search options. Yeah, let's just go back. Yeah, it's not going to go back. Okay. So I'm going back in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and go over these tools, equals, not equals. These are the operators. And again, some of you may be familiar with them, some people may not be. So if I choose equals, right, and I'm just going to go back to catalog number, then that condition, this is your condition that you're trying to meet. It has to meet that exactly. So I know, of course we know, that it's going to return one record because this is the only record where catalog number equals the condition that I entered with the, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go ahead and open this up in another window so that I'm not going back and forth all the time if I need to. All right. So the next option, so equals means that the value must match the recorded value. In other words, that condition, the value that you enter here, must match the recorded value exactly. All right. Not equals. All right. So let's go ahead and do catalog number again. And I'm going to enter that same number. So now what this will do, it will omit any record that meets this condition. So again, I'm going to, now, what do you think is going to happen? We have a total of 43,181 records. We should get back 43,180 records because there's only one record that meets this condition. In other words, the record that has this condition should not be returned. So I'm going to display a table, and sure enough, 43,180 records are returned. Okay, so that's the equals tool. The next one in the list is starts with. So starts with is just allows you to enter a character or characters that occur at the beginning of a recorded value. So let's go with let's see, I'm trying to think. Let's go with this Rhodophytus. All right. Oh, sorry. I want specimen. Scientific name. There we go. It's going to start with CRO, and I'm just entering those three numbers or three letters. I'm going to do a display, and so anything that starts with a CRO is going to be returned. Now this could be that's not the right field. I'm looking at scientific names. So you can see that anything that starts that, it's not just Claire's, there should be the other one. There it is. That might, so the this would probably work well with collector. So in other words, so we've got these three here. I'm just going to copy this, right? And I'm going to go back. Let's see if I can come up. And collector. Oh, that's right. Collector is a fixed one, so I can't really use that, right? I would have to use the full thing. So maybe author. I don't know if there's starts with. Okay. Yeah, there's no matching, but you could put in like maybe a B. I think there's, yeah. So any record with the where the author name starts with B would be listed. Okay, so you could start with, notice we have B-O, so we could actually go back. Don't know, yeah, if we go back and enter, again, my mouse is, so we're going to go author, and we want starts with, and again, I'm just starting to type, and it'll come up. And we're going to go with B-O, and so that should leave out all the BAs, right? And whatever else that doesn't meet the BO, right? So notice how even though I don't know the author's name, I've reduced the return set to what, 70 records, a little more manageable at that point. All right. So if we go in and we're going to look at the next one, which is contains. This one to me is the handiest because I may not know what the beginning is, but I know what maybe a letter or something that is contained. So let's first go with catalog number, and I'm just going to hit contains, and then I know that all the ones that I created for test have the word test in the catalog number. So if I hit that, I should get 10 records back. So that's where the contains comes in handy. What it probably will be handy for you if you're looking for maybe, let's see what we have here. Collector observer, and of course I'm going to do contains. So I'm going to enter Andy. Oops, I clicked the wrong one as far as the display. So let's do that again. And I want collector observer, and I want it to be contains, and I'm going to type in Holy Cross. So you can see the default display is the display editor. So I'm going to do display table. So it's only going to have those where the collector includes Andy's last name, or, you know, AT. So again, a handy way to narrow the result set. So we get 101 records when we use Andy's name. So keep that in mind. The next one is does not contain. So of course I'm going to put in Andy's. So we know that 101 records have Andy's name. So anything other than that should come up. So again, I'm going to select the display table, and again, 43,080 records. So we know that Andy's, those records with Holy Cross have been left out. The next option is greater than. Now this can be alphabetical or numeric. So alphanumeric works here. If I went into let's say institution code, All right. And I want greater than. So I want anything that is not an A. All right. Or ASU. Let's put it that way. And again, I'm going to hit display table. So notice anything that does not have ASU, this is the institution code, oops, is institution code, right, is coming up. Okay, and there is a, I'm going to do institution code again, and there's a less than. Again, numbers will work as well, obviously. So there are some catalog numbers that do not have any kind of alphabetic value in it. They're just numeric values. So now you could do that with that. So I'm going to say anything less than, I can just put the initial code of B for the institution code, and that should just give me anything. Oh, nope. So it might be, let's see, less than BBB. Try that. Okay. ASU, no. Let's just do this OU. So we have U of University of Arizona, so UAZ, and we also have UCSB. So those shouldn't come up. It should only be the ASU. Yeah, there we are. So here's the institution code. So anything less than. Okay. Now again, it's going by the value there of OU. ASU would not be less than OU. So, all right. The next one is null. So is null, let's put, let's see if we can get a, oops, see if we have author, if we have a null. There is no condition for this field. The condition is null. And null means just that it's empty. It doesn't even have a space. So let's see if we can get something that meets that. And there is. There's obviously authors, right? Here's the field that does not have a value, not even a space. Well, let's do that again where it's, let's do author again. And this time we want the is not null. And again, that is the condition. So you don't have to type anything in here. So this should bring up all of the authors or all of the records where author is populated. There's a value in that field. So let's see what comes up. And yeah, there it is. So I didn't look at the values that came up, but you can see that it's less than the total amount in the database, the total number of records. So again, as you get more comfortable in this environment, you're going to learn how to use these search tools in a way that helps you narrow down your search. If you need any assistance, you can certainly contact me and we can go through things together. There is another video that's specific to editing in this environment, and that will help you as well. So this concludes this demonstration on how to search for and review data using the Edit Existing Occurrence Records tool. Thank you.